Hey there, I'm Ian Douglas. I'm the author of the website techinterview.guide, and I'm here to help people with career advancement and interview preparation. My live stream on Twitch covers topics such as company research, how to build resumes and cover letters, applying for the job, getting through interviews, and what to do during negotiations. I've coached thousands and thousands of people over the years to get jobs at the biggest tech companies in the industry, and I'm here to help you too. The following episode is taken from a longer live stream event and may contain interactions with other people in chat. Check out the end of the episode for more information. Let's get to it. I was offered the ability to do a master's plus a GA appointment full-time while working full-time by my college. What would be the best way to pitch the proposition to my employer? They have me doing machine learning. So you're offered the ability to do a master's plus GA appointment. Let me know what GA appointment means. Full-time while working full-time by my college. So the college has offered you a master's appointment, I guess, while you're also working full-time. That's a heavy load, I'm not going to lie, to take on a full-time master's degree and the GA's graduate assistantship. Okay. They pay for the degree. I mean, that's great. I mean, the fact that they're going to pay for your degree is fantastic. But doing a full-time degree and full-time work, that's a lot to put on your plate. I would say, if you really want to go that route, if that's really where you want to take your career, I'm not going to try to dissuade you or encourage you either way, because that's a decision you need to make. If it were me, and this was something that I wanted to pursue, I would have that conversation with the employer and say, this is a goal that I have. I want to get my master's degree. I've actually been chatting with this college. They've offered to pay for my master's degree, but I don't want to stop working here. Can we work something out where maybe I have like a little bit reduced workload so that I can go get this master's degree? It's something that's really important to me. Your employer may have tuition reimbursement. Even though your tuition's being covered, they may have other reimbursement that they would be willing to compensate or recompensate you for. If you do have any other expenses related to school, if there's books or materials and things like that, they may reimburse those costs. So that would be something to talk about with your employer. When you're talking to your employer about it, though, it's the same kind of value proposition as when you're interviewing with them in the first place. Like, why do I care as a hiring manager? Why is this master's degree going to help me? Yes, like that employer might absolutely love you and they don't want to lose you and they might love what you do. But if you need like a reduced workload in order to go get a master's degree, and that master's degree isn't going to help us in some way, it's like we might, if you're really, really likable, then yeah, we'll probably let you have reduced work or whatever, but that may come with reduced pay as well. If you're only going to work 30 hours a week, suddenly you're not working full-time hours, we might have to cut your benefits and so on. But to put the expectation on you that you can still work 40 hours and get a master's degree, like I said, it's going to be a pretty heavy load depending on other life responsibilities and so on that you have. It might be a tough thing to balance, but that's your decision. If you're in a position right now where you can do that and that's what you want to pursue, then yeah, go for it. But I would have the conversation with the employer and say, I want to go get the master's degree. I think it's going to help my career in this way and that way. This is the value that it's going to bring to the company. If I do a master's thesis on this topic or this topic, that's going to be aligned with these projects that we have going on. Would it be okay if I even do a master's thesis project about these things that we have going on? You always want to make sure that you've got permission from them to actually publicize what you're doing as part of a master's thesis, because those papers can be made public later on, as I understand it. But you can talk to your employer or say, like, I really want to get this master's degree. Can you help me come up with a project idea that would be beneficial to the company, but also help me get this master's degree? Figure out some kind of partnership there. Again, the worst they'll say is no. Are they going to fire you for it? Probably not. If you've been there long enough and they really like you, they're not going to be like, all right, well, enjoy your master's degree. You're not going to work here anymore. But they may also have the same kind of conversation that I've just had here, where they're going to be like, full-time master's degree and full-time work, that's going to be a lot to take on. Like, are you sure you're ready for that? So they may have some feedback for you there as well. But have the conversation with your employer and ask, can I have reduced work for a period of time? But depending on how long you expect that master's degree to take, if it's going to take a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to have to figure out from your employer, like, is this really something that we're all willing to work together on in order for me to go get this master's degree? Again, if the master's degree benefits them in some way, they're far more likely to be agreeable to it. It's not guaranteed, but they'll probably be more amenable to the idea. So the master's will take 12 months exactly. So if you know the timeline, then have that chat with your employer and say, I expect this is going to take a year. If I start in November, it's going to go through next November. Is there something we can do as far as work responsibilities and so on? You're currently the only machine learning engineer there and the only one that can maintain the program. So, I mean, you've got some job security, but that doesn't necessarily make you irreplaceable. They could say, yeah, go ahead and start the master's degree, but we are going to need to replace your full-time effort because you're the only one that can do this. And if you're in the middle of an exam and something breaks, we can't like pull you out of that exam to like go fix some code. But we may not have hours to wait for you to go finish all of that and then come back to work. So again, you're going to have to figure that out with them, or you might have to train some other people to like help take care of some of the critical portions that if you do need to be out working on an assignment or taking an exam or something like that, that they have coverage. Again, these are things that you need to think about as far as that value proposition to the company and say, hey, I realize this is going to take me away from critical functions here at work. I want to make sure that I'm available as much as possible. These are the hours that I'm thinking about. What do you think? And have that conversation. Make it a collaborative effort. If you just walk in and be like, this is what I'm doing, this is my schedule when I'm available, then it doesn't allow them a lot of flexibility. But if you ask them for help on what kinds of projects can I do, how can I reduce that workload and so on, they'll be a lot more amenable to that. Give me one sec. I will be right back. Cool, I'm back. It's a tricky situation. I mean, it's not really that tricky of a situation. I think it's just something where you have to have that conversation with your employer. There's like a lot of companies will be open to the idea, again, if it's something that's going to benefit them, like if the master's degree is in machine learning and that's going to like take your ML skills to a whole other level, they'll be like, yeah, go get that master's degree. It's only going to take a year and we're going to get like 3 times the output out of you. Then yeah, I can't see why they wouldn't be open to that idea. But it starts with conversation. A lot of these kinds of things come down to communication, how you talk to them about it. But I would do it in a way that includes them in the decision making instead of just showing up and announcing what you're doing. If they feel like they're part of that conversation, I think they'll be a lot more agreeable to it. Thanks for checking that out. I hope that you found it helpful. I always appreciate feedback, so please let me know what you think. I appreciate any subscriptions, so please tell your friends and colleagues about it as well. Check out the website techinterview.guide for more information about when I'm live streaming and all of my free content. Drop by a live stream anytime to ask questions or message me privately, whatever makes you most comfortable. See you next time.